So we've already talked about this in the previous section in the intro. So if you need to refer to that, go ahead and go back to the previous section, look at the introduction, and you'll find a more detailed explanation of this. So if you think about that video, so if real numbers and complex. So complex numbers, real numbers are just all numbers that you can think of other than I. So a complex number would be a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers. Well, guess what? B could be 0 because 0 is a real number. So the number 5. Well, let's just start with 5 plus 2i. This would be a complex number. Just the number I, or 5i. Anything with an I is going to be considered a complex number. Now, if you think about the number 7, is 7 a complex number? Well, yes, it is. Let me tell you why. Because it's 7 plus 0i. So it makes it a complex number, and it's also a real number. So what that means is all these real numbers, which could be like 3, 4, pi is a real number, square root of 2, those are all real numbers. Those are also complex numbers because they could be written as plus 0i. So they're complex as well. Now here's the thing though, if there's an I, then it's not a real number. So anything with an I is not a real number, it's strictly complex, but anything that doesn't have an I, it's just strictly real, it's both real and complex because every single real number is included in the complex numbers. You can think about this diagram right here and say this is the complex numbers. Then the real numbers exist inside of there. So all the real numbers are included in the set of complex numbers. But there's a lot more complex numbers out there. Real is just kind of a subset to that. Not kind of, it is a subset to it. So if we look at this, because it has an I, it's automatically complex. Now notice, why am I going through this? Because it says choose all answers that apply. So we have to be careful. So if it's complex, if it has an I, it's automatically not real. So it's complex. And then over here, what type of number is negative 240.1? Well, that's a real number, and since it's a real number, that makes it complex as well.